Hey, welcome to another video from SkinnyMedic. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think I know what we're all going to die from in a grid down situation. So for some of you who may not know what a grid down situation is, this is what the doomsday preppers are prepping for. It could be a long-term grid down situation where society's collapsed for the rest of our lives and we're back to the Stone Age, or it could be just something temporary, a few days, months, even years. So some people believe that we could go grid down situation and we're back to the Stone Age. Some people are prepping a grid down situation for a flood, something like that. So the main problem I see that people are going to die from in a grid down situation is infection. Now this isn't just some simple infection, something minor. I think people are going to die a lot from sepsis, from being septic shock. So when I talked about having an infection, it's no big deal. Your body sends natural defenses there to stop the infection. You may get a little, if it's a skin infection, get a little redness. If you're talking about UTIs, pneumonia, even some skin wounds, things like that, nothing major. The body fights it off and recovers just fine. When I talk about the word septic, that means it's a super infection and that your body has lost the control to compensate for it. So you're in septic shock. So it means your heart rate is going to be elevated, your respiratory rate is going to be elevated. You can have a fever, or you can be hypothermic, means your body core temperature is lower than it's supposed to be, and then your blood pressure can obviously start to drop. Now, of course, you're going to have a source of this, which means you have, the pneumonia, you've got the cough, you've got the productive cough with green sputum usually, you've got a skin infection, a UTI, some kind of skin wound, skin infection. So we got to have a source, but this is the body's natural way of fighting the infection. Now has lost that ability and you're in shock. You're in septic shock. So if someone just has a mild infection, these will work. These are the fish mocks. There's tons of videos on this. I've done videos. For just an infection, these will work, okay? They're the same over-the-counter stuff. But once you reach that you're septic, you need IV fluids, lots of fluid. You need IV antibiotics that are stronger than what we have, that are stronger than what we can prep for. So we talk about these infections. People die all the time from pneumonia. In today's society, elderly patients, even some young people die of pneumonia with all of our health care we have right now. Women are susceptible to UTIs a lot. UTIs can turn into sepsis very easily. Skin infections, you get a cut, so you're chopping wood, you're using an axe, you're pruning a tree, an apple tree, peach tree, and you nick your finger, that can get infected and that can lead to septic shock very easily. It happens all the time. So before you post in the comments that I'm full of crap and I don't know what I'm talking about, in 2015, if you got septic, if you were diagnosed with sepsis, then you had a 50% mortality rate in the hospital in the US currently. So it means if you're in the hospital, ICU, CCU, in today's healthcare medicine, and you get diagnosed that you're sepsis, that you're in septic shock, you have a 50% chance of dying right now. So what makes you think you're not going to have increased rates in the grid down situation? That these people get infection from the arm, leg, they get cut, things like that, something simple, that they're not going to turn septic, and we do not have the ability to take care of them. You can say what you want to, but we don't have enough IV fluids, and we probably don't have access to the IV antibiotics that we need. We need strong antibiotics like Zosyn, Rocephin. Those are the big ones they're using for this septic shock right now, and those are IV antibiotics, and that's what we're going to need to take care of these patients that are septic. I truly believe that this is going to kill more people than the bullet wounds, people getting shot, all that good stuff that we prep for, that we want to prep for, because we want to buy more guns and ammo. I think infection, super infection such as being septic, is going to kill people. Since we don't have the IV antibiotics that we're going to need, probably not going to have the IV fluids that we need, the best source of this is going to be, one, catch the infection early. So know that we may have an infection and we have our antibiotics that we may have stored up. That's going to be number one. Number two is obviously prevention. Keeping these wounds clean, these lacerations, these cuts that we get, keeping them clean, wound cleaning, and not letting them get infected in the first place. Prevention is going to be key. So I hope this video helped. You never know when you'll be the first responder. Remember, you need the right gear and the right training. Like Zosyn, not Ramazicon, that's something else.